Welcome to the Transparent FX Academy. I'm Nick, and I'm a top author on TradingView with over 190k reputation points. In this video, I'll be speaking about USDCAD. Now, as usual, to keep the video as educational as possible, first I will be covering the technical aspect for this market. Then we will be moving to the order flow by looking at the commitment of traders, so the COT data, so essentially what hedge funds and the big players in the market are doing and how they're moving their orders. And by the end of the video, by using a combination of these two different types of analysis, we will try to understand where we have the highest probabilities for the next potential move here for this pair. So this is definitely a video you do not want to miss. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. This is the place to be for high quality, free trading education. Now, without further ado, let's jump straight onto the charts. Starting here from the monthly time frame, what we can see is that at the moment we have a market which is currently range bound. In fact, we can notice how the top of the range is currently easily identifiable at this level, and the bottom of the range is easy to identify at this bottom. In fact, we can see that here at the top, the market stopped multiple times. Every single time it tested its zone and rejected it to the downside. And at the same time here at the bottom, every single time that the market tested this zone, it got rejected to the upside. So at the moment, we have a market which is bounded in between this resistance and support. And until the market will remain in between these two levels, we could simply expect more potential horizontal ranging in between these two areas. So on the monthly time frame, at the moment, there is nothing really interesting. The only thing important to identify is that we have currently a range-bound market. Dropping down on the weekly time frame, what do we have? Now, here on the weekly time frame, the situation is quite clear. We have a market which has very important structure exactly at this zone. In fact, from here, we can notice how all this previous rejection to the upside was created. Again, here the market broke below all these levels, tested again this zone and got rejected to the upside, and then this level was finally broken to the downside, and all this previous support that was already respected as support here and here got broken to the downside. At that point, as we know, previous support, once it is broken to the downside, becomes resistance. So the level that the market is currently testing here is a quite strong level of previous weekly support turned resistance. We can also notice that from a pattern standpoint, since we have an impulse and correction, if we want to measure the correction after the impulse, we have to take our Fibonacci from the high to the low of the impulse leg. And what we can notice is that the resistance zone that we have just identified, so the blue box that we have placed here, is also the area in between the 0.618 and 0.786 of the Fibonacci taken on this weekly impulse leg. So actually, this is a confluence of resistance zone because we have both the Fibonacci levels and this horizontal level of previous support and resistance, both lining up exactly in the same area of price, therefore creating a confluence of resistance. Dropping down on the daily time frame, what do we see? Well, from a daily perspective, what we can notice is that so far the price action has been quite straightforward. In fact, I also spoke about USDCAD a few times in the past few weeks. I spoke about it when the market was here. I explained all the reasons for which we could expect this rejection to the downside. Then from here, I made another breakdown explaining all the reasons for which we could expect this rejection to the upside. And again, when the market was here, I explained all the reasons for which we could expect the correction to this level, which is in fact exactly what the market just did. And by the way, I will link in the description all these previous analysis, so you can go and check them out for more free education. But before we continue with the analysis, going deeper from a technical perspective here on the daily time frame, first, let's go and see what we have when it comes to the commitment of traders, so the COT data, so essentially what hedge funds and the big players in the market are currently doing. Now, if we check the data precisely for the CAD, what we can notice is that with the last reports, net positions have been massively increased. We went, in fact, from having minus 70.4k net positions, so a situation in which we had on the the institutional side of the market, 89,000 shorts compared to only 18.6k longs, all the way up to now having only minus 2.3k net positions. So shorts got massively decreased from 89k all the way down to 41k, and longs got massively increased from 18.6k to 39.1k from an institutional perspective. So institutions are currently adding longs and decreasing shorts on the CAD. Now keep in mind that this makes USDCAD weaker, because a strengthening CAD makes USDCAD weaker. So as the market is currently testing all the confluence of resistance that we have previously identified being all inside of this area, looking for more bullish continuation in a situation like this can be a bit tricky, because clearly institutions, at least at the moment, are not adding longs yet. So it will be incredibly important to see what will happen if the market from here will go for another test of this high. If the market will fail to break above this high, we could expect more bearish continuation away from the confluence of resistance. However, at the same time, if the market will manage to break above this level, this is where things get quite interesting, because if you remember, from a monthly standpoint, the last test of the range was the bottom of the range. So in this case, the next test is supposed to be of the high of the range. So things would get very interesting if we get a potential break above this previous high, because if we get the break, this previous resistance would become support. And at that point, instead of this previous resistance turn support, there is good probability of getting finally some institutional longing of USD-CAD, so shorting of the CAD, which at that point would further increase the probabilities of a potential rejection to the upside away from this level. And by the way, guys, make sure to also remember to go and join my free Telegram channel, which you find here on the screen, and it also linked in description, so you never miss my new updates. Now, as I was saying, in a situation like this, if the market will break above this level and go for the retest, what I would expect in a situation like this? Well, as usual, trading is reactive and not predictive. The monthly, weekly, and daily timeframes combined with the COT data, those are the best timeframes from a directional perspective. However, when it comes to identifying early shifts in a trend of a market, the best timeframes for that are the intraday timeframes, so 4 hour and lower. Therefore, what I would expect is that if this market would shift from an intraday bearish market during this move to the downside after the break and retest to an intraday bullish market, at that point, I wouldn't be surprised if the market would create a potential rejection to the upside, completing this daily impulse correction and impulse pattern to the upside. Now, if you want to learn more, I really suggest that you go and check out the transparentfxtrading.com website, which you find linked both in description and on the main page of my YouTube channel. Here, you have the possibility to gain access to the most complete, all-inclusive mentorship program that I have created for you. As soon as you open the website, you will see this video breaking down everything included in the mentorship program. And in the program, you have the possibility to gain access to all my courses and also to the software, so the COT data software, which is exactly the one that we used in this analysis, the trading station software with Telegram signals integration, which puts together everything that you need as a trader all in one interface. You also have the possibility to gain access to one-on-one private mentoring directly with me, so you will have my personal contact. And if you continue to scroll down on the website, you will see that directly from the website, you will have the possibility to register and gain automatically access with the email and password that you will create during the registration process. So at least I suggest that you go and check it out right now. The link is both in description and in the main page of my YouTube channel, and I will see you in it. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like. Also, let me know in the comments below any pairs or topics that you would like me to cover in the next videos, and I will see you in my next breakdown.